On behalf of Libyana Mobile Company and its PMO, we are delighted to start this presentation. Libya, or what we like to call ourselves, Libyana, which means our Libya. Libya is centralized between Africa and Europe. It's a vast country with an area that exceeds 1.7 million kilometers square and a coastline over 1,800 kilometers. Libyana was established in 2004 September and quickly achieved success in the Libyan market by providing extensive network coverage in all key areas throughout Libya. Even though we were preceded by other companies, we managed to earn customers' trust through continuous offering services and packages into a market that is so thirsty for innovation. In 2006, we were the first telecom operator to introduce 3G services in the Northern African region. At the time, it was a huge step for us and pushed Libyana to market leadership. Also, in 2017, Libyana introduced 4G coverage to become the first operator in Libya with this offering. The introduction of 4G allowed us to have 67% of telecommunication market size and 116% penetration rate with around 6.2 million registered subscribers, in which 5 million of them are active. For the time being, we have more than 1,500 employees, while actively dealing with 4 different top-tier mobile vendors. All this, we are the most profitable telecom company in the country. We plan to stay ahead of our competitors for the foreseen future. We faced a lot of obstacles through the course of operation, but we are proud that all our customers can rely on us. Even during the time of 2011 conflict, this conflict that affected all of the country, many companies' business put on hold and services were largely interrupted. Companies weren't able to operate nationwide. But we proudly have the proven strategies that passed extreme tests where we were the only operational telecom company nationwide. With all our successes, we have the burden of staying on top as leaders. The company is well established, and with so many ongoing projects and employees, there was a hard task of keeping track of all our projects. We had lots of problems, such as missed delivery dates, cost overruns, incomplete deliveries, and dissatisfied customers. All of those characters of Libyana projects had happened before establishing the PMO, which were the main reasons behind establishing Libyana PMO. The purpose of this project is to establish Project Management Office PMO adopting international standards such as the PMI framework, Prince2 method, and M123 methodology. To reach practical success, we use best fit approach by tailoring the international standards to suit Libyana's culture and structure and strategy to create our own Libyana project management methodology, LPPM. The PMO mission is to implement and support project management methodology to enable our organization to deliver projects on time, within budget, with higher quality. The PMO mission is to implement and support project management methodology to enable our organization to deliver projects on time, within budget, with higher quality.
In this slide, we'll talk about the PMO establishment journey, which consists of 4 phases. In the first phase, which is the setup phase, this phase is divided into 2 stages. In the first stage, the team were responsible of the following: studying the current situation, gathering information about the pain points and weaknesses in the company, applying SWOT analysis, producing a general overview of the PMO office structure and its processes, including a detailed job description and roles and responsibilities for the PMO office entities. In the second stage, the team were responsible of preparing a clear, detailed, timely plan to implement Libyana PMO on the ground, adapting the PMI as our framework, Prince 2 and Method 1 to 3 as our methodology. To reach a practical success, we used a best fit approach by tailoring the international standards to suit Libyana's culture, structure, and strategy to get to our target to create Libyana project management methodology. In the second phase, where things started to happen, we started as a supporting PMO, and our team were responsible of the following. Number one, coordinating with Libyana departments to put a new follow-up project strategy with the help of a PMO representative in each department. Our standardized methodology has been developed, including preparing and validating templates for all forms and reports and processes that will be used during the life cycle of each project. Implementing of archiving system that has all projects information, whether it is actually running or completed. Provide support to project managers in the form of tools, policies, guidance, consultancy, and mentoring to make sure they succeed in delivering projects' goals and objectives. In the third phase, we moved to be a controlling PMO, where the PMO team has more responsibilities. The team were responsible of applying risk management and making actions to prevent it, dealing with issues that affects budget, quality, timeline, scope, and apply solutions to it without escalation to the top management. Number three, collecting lessons learned from previous projects, and finally making sure that all processes align with the PMI framework. In the last phase, we became a directing PMO, and here we are responsible of number one, directing Libyana portfolio programs and projects towards Libyana strategy, assigning project managers and replacing them if needed, deliveries of projects and making sure that it is aligned with the company strategy, commitment to scope, quality, time, and budget, kill, proceed, or update any project depending on its alignment to the current company strategy and whether it is still bringing ROI to the company. Regular update for Libyana project management methodology according to the international standards, update, and Libyana best practices. In addition, train the related staff when needed. Improve project success level within the organization. During the first two phases, the PMO team had the following training courses. Number one, all PMO members, project managers, and M levels took a PMB courses as a starting point to speak the same language in the company. Number two, PMO setup and leadership program. This course include the following: project management basics, leadership skills, MS project tutorial, reporting skills, and task management skills. Another program was called PMO Professional Competency Development Program. This program consists of PMO organizational influence, task process management and reporting, effective PMO management, telco operations, Turkcell PMO case study, and MS project. In this slide, we will talk about the challenges faced Libyana PMO throughout its journey. These challenges could be categorized into external and internal challenges. Starting by the external challenges, security issues. Due to the security situation in Libya, which has unfortunately made some areas unsafe in the country, project teams of field projects, such as network modernization projects, faced a security problem while accessing these unsecure areas. Libyana PMO set a plan to use local engineers comes originally from these unsecure areas or its neighborhood. Also contacting the council in each area to provide the support for these working teams, which helps finishing these projects on time. Electricity drops. Having no electricity for a very long hours that reach more than 8 hours in a repeatable way, especially at summer and winter time, had a great effect on our mobile network. Libyana made several steps to solve these problems, and the PMO and Libyana PMO managed 2 projects successfully. Project number 1, import and install a customized batteries for longer hours to fit our situation. Number 2, install diesel generators in the node sites to ensure network stability during the electricity cutoff. The PMO successfully finished these projects on time. Moving now to the internal challenges, starting by the poor communication. Poor communication between related functional divisions and departments is a huge problem PMO faced, where any project will go through a series of steps, starting from contracting, procurement, and finance department. For instance, the PMO tackled this problem by doing a series of actions. Number 1, working as a facilitator between all divisions, taking the authority and support given from the top management. Number 2, work with all departments to set a clear processes for the flow of actions during the projects. Number 3, and finally, adding task management features to our in-house PPM. All these actions have improved the communication in Libyana organization. Moving to the culture, the concept of having a PMO is still new to most organizations. Therefore, Libyana PMO suffered a lot to convince other departments in the company about the value position of the PMO and its specific role. This was treated by a series of planned workshops introduced by the PMO and its value. Moving to the culture, the concept of having a PMO is still new to most organizations. Therefore, Libyana PMO suffered a lot to convince other departments in the company about the value proposition of the PMO and its specific role. This was treated by a series of planned workshops introducing the PMO and its value position and specific role to all M and C levels. Also, some employees think that the PMO is just adding additional work. Therefore, PMO branding campaign took a place where more workshops have been conducted to describe the importance of having a centralized PMO unit in the organization. Moving to the poor and no documentation challenge. One of the main problems that the PMO faced at the beginning of its continued journey is having a poor documentation or no centralized documentation owner, such as Moving now to poor or no documentation. One of the main problems that PMO faced at the beginning of its continued journey is having a poor documentation or no centralized documentation owner for project documents, such as action status, risk, issues, lessons learned, and etc. As one of our main duties to provide governance, oversight, standards setting, and support for the project, Libyana PMO introduced a list of forms and documents based on the PMI standards to be filled by project managers and archived in our SharePoint by the PMO for future use. For instance, project charter, change request form, and closure form, and lessons learned form, and etc. One success stories of using lessons learned was during one of the implementation projects where Libyana deals with two vendors using lessons learned from previous similar projects, focusing on the contracting points such as penalties or shipping type and so on, which already prove inaccurate scope. More time, cost, and ambiguous deliverables resulted from having a creepy scope. This could be considered as one of the big challenges Libyana PMO faced during the establishment phase. Projects after having a PMO started to have a clear scope by applying a detailed planning and work breakdown structure form, which showed great effect on the project's progress, including a clear change request process. Project templates based on BMI project lifecycle. The PMO is using project templates based on the PMO project lifecycle during all the project stages, from initiation and planning through execution and monitoring and controlling until closing the projects. We direct all the project managers through a unified documentation and follow-up procedures, and we kept a record of every phase. For example, we are using project charter in the initiation phase, and we are using the project implementation plan form in the planning phase, and using a payment form in the execution phase, and using a change request form in the monitoring and controlling phase, and finally using a closure form in the closing phase. Also, we have our logs to keep a record of any changes in the issue, risks, stakeholders, and lessons learned for the whole project. PMO projects processes. The PMO process in managing projects targeting to achieve Libyana strategy is to build the project and then operate it and then transfer it to the operational departments in Libya. Also, using project complexity matrix, PCM, helps us decide the weight and complexity of projects to manage them, depending on its Also, using project complexity matrix, PCM, helps us decide the weight and complexity of projects to manage them depending on their size and complexity. This matrix was developed by our team with the help of our consultancy company, Macman.
Among the achievements of the PMO is its transformation from an operational office into a strategic office linked directly to Libyana's vision during the first year. We have linked and classified all projects into three categories: capability transformation, digital transformation, and network transformation. Modernizing Libyana network alone will only expedite its disruption by its regional competitors. Network transformation is needed, but it cannot be accomplished successfully if not preceded by digital transformation. Digital transformation cannot happen without transforming Libyana's capability into digital capabilities. So the priority is to capability transformation, so that Libyana workforce can successfully lead digital and network transformation. PMO also started to transform its internal management methodology into Agile, which has been proven successful worldwide and is recommended on the latest edition of PMBOK Guide by BMI and most other consulting firms. We have started to witness the quick wins of this transformation through the faster rate of knowledge transfer, the increased productivity, and the enhanced communication among PMO team members, creating a smart culture of collaboration.
The PMO structure was designed and created taking into consideration the PMO offices internationally and according to Libyana organization needs with reference to PMI standards. Our PMO is directly reporting to the CEO, having the Chief Project Officer at the executive level directly reporting to the CEO helps the company of achieving its target by implementing all projects on time within budget by getting the needed support from the CEO directly. Starting from the top, the CPO manages all portfolios, programs, and projects. The program and project department is responsible for ensuring the implementation of the programs and projects according to Libyana standards, keeping track of the project management tools and technologies. The follow-up department is responsible for managing all project vendors, keeping record of vendors' information and role tracking as well. Following up all projects' important tasks, creating, formulating, analyzing project reports. PMO branches, as Libyana is a big company in a huge country. 4 branches were established. The PMO set a representative office in each branch having the same organizational structure on a smaller scale to ensure applying Libyana standards, LPPM, on the projects implemented in those regions.
And regarding Libyana strategy, our vision, we are the first choice of telecommunication in Libya, digital transformation pioneers for better future. Our mission, reducing distances between Libyan people by providing integrated communication solution with high quality to support the development of sustainable community. Depending on excellent team of employees who has the ambition to get to the highest level of customer satisfaction and of course to be fully digitally transformed. For PMO specific strategy, the PMO office has been established to guide Libyana capability across all departments to achieve the vision and the mission of the company by following international best practices and partnering with the best consulting firms and capitalizing on BMO's deep understanding of the Libyana culture. The vision of the BMO have been aligned with Libyana strategy and vision and have to be consistent with it. The mission is to direct all Libyana projects and portfolios by implementing international standards and best practices and to realize Libyana vision and ensure the success of Libyana project. This strategy, elevating the project management with the use of world-based framework and methods. It used to be a time that the project management were isolated from other project management and their experience, In that area, in that way, they can only rely on their experience. Project managers were kept into the dark and sometimes assigned late during the project cycle. Some projects had their project manager assigned short prior to their implementation date. That had a huge effect on the project plan timeline and the quality, of course, of the project. Right now, we have the tendency to push with our project managers before the first steps of the project and insist for the project manager to be assigned at least 2 months earlier than the due date of the project. Project manager's experience is required and desired, but it is no match for a well-experienced PMO. A well-structured and organized PMO can only strengthen the knowledge of the project manager, and they would feed back their knowledge back to the PMO. With our project management office at work, we can assure that the project and their scope are aligned with the company strategy and vision. We can manage company resources in the best way possible. We can keep a project under close control regarding the expenses and the timeline. With the PMO in place and under the management and the lead of the direct lead of the CEO is able to have a clear perspective on the ongoing project and how they would fit the organization's plan and vision. Major objective is to help project manager find hidden resources and track their progress and find similar experiences and projects to their project and identify possible risks and therefore minimizing failure. And also standardization. Standardization means that comparison is possible. That way, higher manager can compare projects and keep track of the company visions. PMO is helping keep a project under budget and under controlled timeline. That way the company would save lots of money in expenses and fees and valuable personnel. And also PMOs tends to increase productivity. PMO exists to drive and increase productivity and cost saving. PMO facilitate the department and group communication and adapting better ways of planning in which way an increased productivity is assured.
PMO maturity level. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it, by William Thompson. In order to measure where we are today, we have adapted an international maturity model, CMMI, which consists of 5 levels as shown here. After applying the CMMI model on our PMO, we reach the result of maturity level number 4, manage it, process. In connection with the previous slide, here is the breakdown of the maturity level assessment measures during this year and our target next year.
Libyana is being innovative by having a number of innovation-enabling projects, like Libyana Innovation Center, that provides the tools and knowledge to create new customer-oriented businesses and services that will be built by applying the concept of MVP from the Lean method in the incubation, acceleration, and fabrication program organized in the center. Libyana testbed is a lab area, includes the essential small scale of mobile network elements that allows engineers and pre-graduates to test the features, functions, and parameters of the network, and will give the opportunity to develop them. Our team has innovative an in-house PPM depending on Libyana and PMO requirements. This software has been updated on a regular basis based on the challenges that we face during the day-to-day work. Also, several projects aligned with the company's vision to be digitally transformed were introduced. BSS. The aim of this project is to have an automated business support system that fulfill customers' needs and reduce time to market to zero. As a Teamform member, we use Teamform frameworks, SED, ETOM, and TAM in this project to map our current processes and parameters and functions to the international standards. Smart Meter is another project. Smart Meter is bringing digital services to the Libyan society with partnership with GCOL, the Libyan electricity company. Also, Libyana is planning to have its own cloud to virtualize the network and to provide cloud services.
Also, among achievements of PMO is mapping and analyzing projects' interdependencies in all stages and deciding which projects can constructively or destructively interfere with other projects, so that decisions can be taken out which projects need to be expedited and which can be delayed or even killed. Mapping projects' interdependencies resulted in massive cost saving by eliminating much duplicated efforts, in which Libyana was going to procure products, services from different vendors or even from the same vendor.
PMO management system. As we mentioned, Libyana PMO has made an in-house PPM as a phase 1. This system covering all projects details, such as scope, timeline, work breakdown structure, budget, resources, tasks, reports, risks, and vendors, as shown here. And we are planning to move to an international famous PPM in Q4 2019. This system produces an overview dashboard for all projects' progress to the CPO and the CEO of the company, and also can control projects through it by assigning tasks to to project managers or anyone from project resources.
As a part of PMO roles is to manage vendors related to the projects. So the PMO has defined a precise methodology for differentiation and selection among suppliers by weighting criteria, vendor shortlisting analysis, and RFI, RFP analysis approach.
PMO was directing a total of 21 projects during 2018. 6 of them was closed successfully, and 15 is continuing progressing in 2019. In 2019, we have a total of 22 projects. 15 of them are transferred from last year, and 7 projects are new. All the projects mentioned are classified according to our strategical classification, NT, DT, CT.
Vision. And many of them believes that there was a significant effect on the reporting process, and we had an impact on the decision maker since the establishment of our office. The PMO worked to make project report unified and developed project timeframes and follow-up processes to achieve the best result. Some of them think that the PMO has succeeded in raising project management competencies around the company, which has helped to consolidate the language used in project management. And some of them would think that one of the important factors of the success of Libyana and has helped us to organize and manage the work.
In 2020, the PMO is planning to have an international BPM in hand to ensure covering all the project management processes based on international standards. This mature BPM software should provide better and deep analysis for the information collected by the PMO. In 2020, the PMO is planning to have an international BPM in hand to ensure covering all the project management processes based on international standards. This mature BPM software should provide better and deep analysis for the information collected by the PMO. While selecting the new BPM software provider, we are taking into consideration our lessons learned from our in-house BPM software that we are currently using now. Another goal is a zero time to market by adapting an agile approach in our PMO, which is essential factor to reach zero TTM. We are seeking to earn staff certification, BMB certification for project managers, and B3O certification for C-level. We are working to reduce companies' project risks and improve all Libyana business processes. Also, we are committed to move to level 2 DMM with relation to Libyana vision to be digitally transformed by using team form digital maturity model. As the team of Libyana PMO, we are proud and confident that we made a good impact to our company. Thank you for the great initiative of the PMO Award that gave us the opportunity to show our efforts and work.